Oh, please don't knock over my tripod. Hello.
She wants to be interviewed.
Hi, today I'm here with my mom, and she's going to be answering some questions about sense of place. So, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Alimano, which is close to the airport, Pearl Harbor or Salt Lake, so in town.
Can you describe the cultural aspect of your childhood growing up in Hawaii? Like, did you have traditions or beliefs, and have those changed over time at all?
It's funny because growing up in Hawaii, you get exposed to all the different ethnic groups. Sometimes my grandparents would make us do things that, I don't know if it was traditions from Hawaiian, Japanese, Chinese, Filipino. Every Sunday we get together, my grandparents and all my cousins, aunts, uncles, everything, every Sunday. But every New Year's Eve, we would make a big party. That was important for us. Have the lechon, which is the roast pig. This is where you pick up some of the Hawaiian culture. The guys went to hunt down the pig. I mean, it was a place where they had pigs there, so they're not really hunting for it. But they select one, they kill it, everything. The guys would come back. The women all stayed home. And we were preparing for lau lau. The girls and the women, and so stereotypical but real what we did. Get the tea leaves and everything, and we wait for them, and all the guys would come back. I know it seems like cavemen, but that's how we did it. And it was that was our culture. Guys would stay up all night drinking, talking story, and the kids would finally sleep and the guys would continue to. So it was so like old-fashioned, but it was fun. That was a culture that I wish I could still have, and I have a lot of memories of that. I wish you could have experienced that. Growing up, I didn't know which one was really the Filipino one or not. It's kind of interesting being in Hawaii that you get exposed to so many. You don't realize what's really from your culture. It's just kind of mixed up.
Like me.
You're mixed up too, yeah.
Back to what happened in your childhood, what were some of your pastimes as a child? Would you be able to do those same pastimes as you do today?
It was safer back then, I think, that maybe not as much traffic. The kids could play out freely without being hit by a car or something, or also more strange people seems like around, but so there's a trust issue with people.
So has the urbanization affected your way of life at all? Has it affected your relationships with family?
I think so. Everybody has their own home and stuff. We don't seem to get together as often as we did when we were younger. Everybody's taking care of their own things, having their own homes, having to make a living, having more than one job, and everybody got busy. We've lost a lot of that family get-togethers as we used to back when we were younger. I mean, we had big gatherings for any reason you can think of, and we do and play and do whatever. I mean, we make kites out of newspaper and use rice for glue and chopsticks for the sticks, and we'd fly those kites all day and have so much fun. But we just don't get together as often. Everybody's busy. Lifestyles changed. I mean, we're still close, but we don't have that much get-togethers as a family, large family.
How big was your family?
I'm the youngest of 8. Grandma, my mom, is it 8 or 10? I can't get it all mixed up now. Can you imagine every single one of them? And then all of them have kids. And so I have 10 million cousins. And my one aunt, which is 1 year older than grandma, has 11 kids by herself.
So sense of place is what our unit is about. So can you describe your sense of place? What feels like home to you?
Home is living here in the islands and being able to just enjoy the beauty of the islands here. For me, growing up in town, I didn't have the beauty of coming home into Kailua. Salt Lake especially had a lot of condos and everything. And I feel home now here in Kailua. When I'm coming from town through the Pali Tunnel and I see the ocean and the mountains, it's away from all that concrete and everything. That's home. And I know I'm coming home, and it feels warm. We've been here for 29 years in Kailua. It's my new home now, and it is my home. I feel home here. It was a treat when I was younger to go to the beach. We'd smell the salt air. All my cousins, we get so excited. It's funny how now it's home for me.
Who are some of your role models on this island?
Could it be family too?
Yeah.
Well, Auntie Fran is a good role model for me because she's successful. She's always confident, almost like my soulmate, because we do so much together. We have similar things. I always look up to her. And of course, Grandma's always, she has a strength that you wouldn't think she would. Everybody runs to Grandma and you think she's weak, but she's not. She's very strong. I look up to her in that sense. She kept us together. She's the strength of everything.
Back to the whole cultural mix-up, what kind of food did you eat?
I ate all kinds of stuff. And for some reason, Grandpa, my dad, would feed me all kinds. I would eat anything. That's why now that I eat anything. Mostly Filipino food is what we had growing up. But we also didn't have much money, so we ate a lot of Spam and what is that? Corned beef hash, the one in the can. I can't remember. Luncheon meat, all that kind of stuff, and cut it up with vegetables and spread it out so we eat it. We ate like tuna sandwiches and peanut butter sandwiches. I mean, we didn't have much money, so it was spread far. When we could eat a steak, it was not the best cut of steak, but it was a treat for us. A lot of rice at every meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Crazy. We had a rice pot 24/7. But, we also ate everything else. Chinese, Japanese, Hawaiian food. Everything we were exposed to here in Hawaii. But we ate more mishmash of stuff. But a lot of vegetables because my dad had his own garden. Filipino, they love their garden. They love their certain vegetables. So that was something that he took pride in. One time, I think I told you this story that we found a rabbit eating his carrots. Because it must have been good vegetables. But he took care of it. And that's why I like to do the yard work, because I grew up helping Grandpa.
What were the roads like on Hawaii? Like, what kind of transportation was there? Was it really busy like it is today?
Horse and buggy. Nah, I'm only kidding. No, not as busy. Not as many cars. Not as many roads. Freeways have expanded all the roads too. Before it was safer to run around the street. Now you gotta continue to watch for cars. You felt safer driving around. In fact, back then there's no seatbelt rules or anything. I think I told you this other story where Grandma won a car from KGMB on the TV, and she never knew how to drive anyway. It was a small car. It was smaller than my Toyota, but it's important to Grandpa that we always went to church on Sundays. So I think all 8 of us, kids and parents, all fit in that tiny car to go to church. Because there was no seatbelt rules or anything, you were sitting on each other's lap, forward, backward, so that you could have a little bit more space. I remember us squeezing in. When you think about it, it looked like those clown cars that you could fit many people in. It was safe, even without a seatbelt rule. Cars were built more solid back then.
When you were a kid, did they speak Hawaiian or Filipino a lot?
Grandma can understand Filipino, but she was born in the Big Island, and Grandpa spoke fluent Filipino because he came from the Philippines. My grandparents, Grandma's mom and dad, spoke Filipino, so they would speak to each other in Tagalog. I only know certain words, and most of them are not good words. You pick up the bad words, right? It was more speaking it, but I could never really understand it, but I heard it. But it's funny that you said that, because back then it was important for, maybe it is still now, I'm not sure, but like my Chinese friends went to Chinese school after school. My Japanese friend went to Japanese, and this is language classes after school. So it was strong, I guess, to keep it going in the families back then. So I would pick up words, Korean words, I pick up Chinese words. I could count some in Chinese, Japanese. I know some Korean words. So, like I said, melting pot, you just get exposed to all the different languages and the cultures, people, and you just kind of pick that up as you grow up. But as far as hearing the language, and Hawaiian is the other one, I would hear it at home, the Filipino, but I would hear my friends and pick up the other pieces of the other language too.
So did you travel a lot as a child, like across islands, anywhere, and did that affect your perspective or your sense of place at all?
We didn't have much money. We didn't really travel. Our big trip was a family gathering at Sea Life Park. Grandma would always sew our clothes. My mom and dad and Auntie Doreen and me, 4 of us at Sea Life Park, all matching aloha shirt and muumuus. That was our big trip to go to that kind of stuff. We never really traveled because it's just too expensive. Such a large family is hard. So, home was always here. Being with family is home. Anywhere where we were, as long as family was with us, we were happy and felt like we were at home.
What were some of your favorite locations in Hawaii, like places to go?
We'd always go to Ala Moana just to hang out. We'd go to the beach sometimes during the summers. There used to be this place, I can't remember what it's called, at Ala Moana. Amusement park almost inside the mall. Some rides and some games. Then we go to McDonald's and eat, hang out over there. We just catch the bus and go, because back then it was safe to just do anything like that. There was no cell phones. Your parents wouldn't even know if you're safe or not, but there was so much trust back then.
Did your school teach Hawaiian? In class we learned about how at one point in time Hawaiian was actually banned from all schools. So was it taught at all at your school?
Good question. I wonder if it was banned when I was going to school. No, we didn't. We learned some stuff, but not to speak the language,
So one more question. How would you define home?
Home is what you make it, right? But as far as Hawaii, since it's been my home all my life, Hawaii is home for me. Being outdoors or just enjoying the beauty of Hawaii is home, but mainly family. If we were to have to live somewhere else, I would still feel home with family. You make it your home wherever you're at, but with family it becomes home.
Do you have anything else to say?
No, thank you. It was fun talking about all these things.
Thank you.
I don't know if you learned a lot about me by listening, because maybe I didn't tell you all these stories.